aggressive than it should be, was also with an Angela in the mid lane. These were, I think, the hot takes for the previous draft. Let's go for this draft and see who's gonna win that draft, rather also who's gonna win the game itself.
Yep, RRQ Akira is going to be on the blue side. This tournament lives on the line for them as they face off against Fireflux Esports on the red side. We see the Nolan as well as the Joy Bands coming out from the side of RRQ Akira, and from the side of Fireflux Esports is going to be Bruno straight away paired up with the Wanwan.
It does seem that RRQ Akira, they're going with one idea, and that's not having to deal with this assassin kind of meta. So I kind of feel like they're gonna let go of something like a Lancelot. Perhaps their target is to get either the Angela or the Baxia. I kind of feel like those two are gonna be the priority. It's kind of not great that you're first pick because you can't have both of them at the same time. I'm also wondering if Guinevere is gonna get through this ban phase. Perhaps RQ might pick it up.
But if it's up to you, Lafel, who would have you chosen? Angela or Baxia first?
Angela.
Angela,
because Angela can be paired up with everyone. Baxia, not all of the supports can help him out.
Well, there's something quite interesting that just happened now. RQ Akira actually banned that Terizla in the first phase of draft. I think was he that much of a problem? I didn't like sense his penalty zone that much in the game, as much as I was kind of afraid of the rest of the team crowd control. It was the Tigreal for me.
I mean, you have a point there. I think that, at least for RRQ Akira, it keeps it very straightforward for them. It's not about guessing where this Tigreal is going. Sorry, this Terizla is going to go, as they lock in the Baxia first. And keep in mind, Fireflux are the ones who ban out the Guinevere.
So now, Fireflux, they can have the Angela, and the Arlet is open as well. Previously, he was banned.
Yes, I think Arlet is always going to be a good pick. There's always so much relevance with that final slash, especially since the animation time has been cut down back to its almost original form. Valentina going to get picked up for the side of Fireflux, because keep in mind, the Farmus is still up and about.
I would say that this is a really wise choice here. Having the Valentina, she can have both, or like have the best of both worlds. Either the Netherrealm or even the Hard Guard if they were picked off by Team RQ. Actually, they can have both, having also the Baxi. I think this is a really toxic composition in the first phase.
RQ have a lot of opportunities here to get a very solid draft. Again, Fermis or Angela, either or is going to be great. And then you can secure your priority marksman.
Would you say Matilda?
Matilda's fine as well. Like, there's a lot of supports open here.
Yeah, I think Matilda is actually not too bad. The extra mobility is always going to be useful, considering that it comes down to... And Lilia!
This is rare for me.
Yeah, because we were thinking maybe this is gold lane priority. Actually, it's mid-prio.
Wow.
I was calling for that Lilia earlier on, but I'm not kind of calling for her right now. I'm not seeing the use of a Lilia in this draft so far. We still have 3 picks to go for Team Fireflux, but I think this prevents them from taking heroes with low mobility.
Yeah, perhaps they're trying to prepare for a possible Fredrin or Martis pick. Perhaps that's the idea here, because having the Kaja makes it a little bit difficult for you to use something like a Lancelot, like a Ling. So they're kind of answering the problem before the problem arrives.
Yeah, preemptive measures.
Preemptive, exactly, yeah.
I like that idea, but especially when you are on the blue side, it's so easy for red side to pivot, right? Ooh, we do see the Fredrin, though. The Kaja's still going to be relevant, especially for neutral fights. But keep in mind that when you do have that Arla, the counter engage is also there. You try to pull him away, Arla pulls you back.
True, yeah.
Yeah, Fredrin, even though he sees that there's a Lilia and he will not be able to move that freely, he still goes for it. He still goes for that take. Crowd control there is, and also some preventation from the side of Team Fireflux having the Valentina. Yes, there is. I think the Valentina have a lot to pick from actually, but let's forget about the first phase of drafting. Let's look up a little bit about on the second phase of ban itself. I see that Tigreal, as I said, was the biggest issue for me. Having it banned by Team RQ makes most sense.
Yeah, I think at least, making sure that you can't just get locked down and you're forced to, like most people are forced to take Purifies, especially if you are in that gold lane. That's one less thing to worry about. We do see the Claude ban coming out for Fireflux just to make sure that you don't have as much mobility. They might force out the Brody from the side of RRQ, and finally the Matilda ban for RRQ Akira.
I feel RRQ, they have a lot of good options for the gold lane here. Having the Kaja, having the Brody or the carry is going to be devastating, because what your basically checkmate position is, have one lane empty And in case, even if you're losing the team fights, just have Kaja and your marksman split push, and you could just end the game there because there's no one that can really hold off against that kind of combo.
I think the RRQ Akira actually have a really good early game also. They have really good burst damage in terms of the Lilia. Also, the rotation is going to be so fast having the Baxia. But as you said, we might see a carry and carry occurred right now. And it's a really logical pick actually because you have a lot of HP, I would say, on the other hand, from the side of Team Fireflux. So having a carry here, but there is something wrong with the carry actually. A pro player advised me against the carry when it comes to such a draft because he's saying the mobility of the second skill alone cannot allow carry to move freely in the map. She needs a lot of setup.
There's a very small window for RRQ here. Benedetta getting picked up as well. Their win condition is to be able to clear one lane, and they gotta clear the lane as fast as possible. So this Baxia, Lilia, as well as Kaja should be very active around the map. Choose whether you want to take down the EXP lane or the gold lane, and then play macro all the way through.
I mean, when you're in RRQ's position, right, it's all about making sure that the gold lane actually works out. You're hoping that Takashi is actually going to be able to hold his own for the time being, which gives the opportunity for Fireflux to have that level of creativity when it comes down to moving across the map. They have multiple places to attack RRQ Akira, but they have to pick one. They can't be in all places at once. We get the Edith lock-in, and that's what I'm talking about, to start that chaos going to really affect the side lanes.
For Team Fireflux to execute this draft, they need to approach a front-to-back kind of strategy. You have to take Team RRQ Akira layer by layer. They cannot reach the back lines actually. They need to take the front lines first and then approach the carry, which is gonna be so hard. We're not even. I'm not even mentioning that there's a Lilia in the back line.
And now all of this is weighing on the shoulders from the EXP laners here. We get the final roster, Alien. That final slash is going to be extremely key to kind of open up the space, and more so if he can catch the back line off and stop Louise at the same time, that would be the most ideal condition.
I would say RRQ here has a more difficult draft to execute, but if you're able to execute it, it's going to be very difficult for you to fight against it.
I would just change the Benedetta, to be honest.
Change the Benedetta? We'll talk about that in a little bit as we get into the game. This is match point for the side of Fireflux Esports. A dangerous place to be in, especially if you are RRQ Akira. They need this point. They need to even things up. Welcome to game number 2 with RRQ Akira on the blue side up against Fireflux Esports on the red side. But let's get back into the topic, right? Takashi on this Benedetta, what would have been the more ideal pick for you?
Well, they already banned the Trizla. I would have sent the Trizla earlier on, but with the Trizla gone, I would have went for a Yuzong. I would have went for someone that can... Yeah, I know that Benedetta can reach the backline, of course. But again, I don't think that she's that hero that can front damage for you. And you kind of lack some fronting heroes. You have the Baxia, you cannot sacrifice him. He's the jungler after all. And also you have Lewis. He's going to be almost all about the flicker ultimates. He's not going to be fronting anything, for me at least.
Well, I mean, you are Benedetta, so that's not naturally supposed to be your job. But I think at least with the Benedetta compared to the Yuzong, you have the access to Eye for an Eye, which is a very, very powerful spell if timed right. Now, in a lot of cases, Brody ends up kiting out the Yuzong more times than you would like to believe, and that's why the Benedetta is just slightly better in that type of situation, or that's what I believe to be the case.
Right now for RRQ Akira, I'm really wondering which side of the map that they want to approach first, because sure, get level 4 onto Louise and then perhaps you want to be a little bit more proactive, but starting things off, we don't want a repeat of game number 1. Right now, Apex 47 having to use that flicker early on.
If he didn't use that flicker, he was going to get run down and just die straight up. I think, for me, RRQ Akira, they need to play towards gold side, right? Takashi needs to be an independent laner because it's more of a win con to play around Gusta Lugusta.
Well, I think that carry at this composition, as I told you, it needs a lot of setup. So, and also it's actually a key pick here. If Gusta Lugusta can deal damage, they will win.
And right now, Alien taking a little bit of damage, having to use that flicker, and personally for me, I kind of like that idea. The sooner Benedetta can get out of lane, it's going to be a little bit good. for RRQ Akira. Now the turtle has been started.
Whoa.
Looks like Takashi's going to slow them enough. King secures it for himself. TNZ is able to escape, but first blood goes over to Alien, and Alien wants more, but he's going to bite more than he can chew. Saigon secures the kill.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. They're doing it all over again, right? Like every single time we see the neutral objectives start to get low, Takashi goes for the Electro final blow so early on. This is a very telegraphed play, and unfortunately he ended up too close to Luis, so it ended up wasting the Divine Judgment as well as they got pushed back by the final slash.
Not having a retribution this purple buff battle was crucial for
Yep, and now looks like King gets caught. No way to run away from that. TNZ gets the kill. RRQ Akira, they're being aggressive, but they're starting to make mistakes.
I was just about to talk about King, that he's not having the retribution going in for the purple buff, but he went so deep. He was so greedy actually. He kinda saw that coming. 4 members coming in, taking a gift. It's easy.
I think it was a really good read from Fireflux Esports, because keep in mind that he did start off on the purple side of the map, right?
Yeah.
So you would have expected the traditional jungle path to actually go back up there. It looks like you spotted something out there, Lofel. What's up?
Takashi actually went outside of the range of the cannon minion, so that denied him of some EXP. But either way, Alien going up against Takashi, and Takashi's not having a good lane going up against this Arlet.
I mean, as long as he goes even against Alien, right? You can lose a little bit of EXP, but not to the point where you're down an entire level, which is what we're concerned about for the upcoming wave.
Oh my god. The gold lane actually, so far we haven't seen a lot of action there, even though I would have expected to see a lot of the resources being spent for that top lane, for the gold lane. But so far, the true damage from carry will not appear, and also we will not see Sunshine shine anywhere in the map, but it seems like someone's going dark.
They're going for Rosa, and Rosa gets taken down, but I don't know, it seems like an overcommitment. Louis already using the flicker.
Yeah, I agree. That does feel like an overcommitment. They could have really just taken their time with that one, you know? Might even like bait out a flicker from Rosa, too.
Yep, now Takashi and Alien are duking it out. Turtle still in the eyes for RRQ Akira. TNZ is waiting for his opportunity to go in, but Takashi goes and finds 2. TNZ gets locked down here. He goes forward. Can he actually secure the turtle? No, Takashi kills TNZ, and King kills the turtle.
Beautifully done coming in from Takashi, changing up that timer, but making sure that he's holding that eye for an eye for that final slash at the end of the day. Nicely played so far, and now you see the level lead.
Yeah, it looks like Alien trying to run away, having that flicker probably saved his life. If not, RRQ Akira would have secured another one.
Securing that Blade of Heptasis for Sunshine will make him at least start dealing some damage, and now they are claiming that top lane.
They're putting a lot of pressure here. This is what I was worried about, right? I was hoping that RRQ would at least try to save Gusta Logusta from this lane, but considering everything that has happened, right? It looks like the EXP is about the same for both sides. I'm guessing that Sunshine has a gold lead on the other end, but now we do see that TNZ is getting aggressive.
TNZ wanting to get a little bit more buffs coming in, and he's taking quite a little bit of damage from Gusta Logusta as well as Saigon. He has to run away, and King was preventing moving forward by Rosa. But yeah, looking at the levels here, especially from Alien as well as Takashi, I guess I might be wrong. Perhaps he did actually secure the EXP minion.
Yeah, using that conceal was a really smart move from Team Fireflux, but let's look here at what did you spot?
I mean, the gold is dead even for both the carry and as well as the Brody, despite that turret goal going over to him, right? And we do see a little bit of a lead as well. So honestly, not too bad for RRQ Akira.
Having a switch here actually makes a lot of sense to me, but leaving the turret freely for Gusta Lagusta doesn't make sense whatsoever. But Team Fireflux actually are kind of struggling right now because of the cut lanes that the Benedetta keeps on doing in the bot lane, also in the top lane, somewhere near the future. Carry already finished her duties in the top lane. Now she's moving to the bot lane to proceed taking more turrets. So I think here is the gold difference. Here when will we see a gold difference for the carry?
It depends, right? It depends if she gets some kind of kills. You can expect her to try and burst somebody down, but here we go. This is going to be the turtle dance once again. Takashi, he's got to level up on Alien, and he's been the big game changer here for RRQ.
I'm looking at Luis. Luis flickers forward, finds TNZ. TNZ still surviving, but King secures the turtle. Takashi takes TNZ down, and Fireflux Esports, they're scrambling. They're not sure what to do. Sunshine finds Luis. It looks like Takashi as well as King, they're really thinking about it. Apex 47 goes inside the bush. Gusta Lagusta is securing the turret. This is what we want from RRQ Akira. Get as much turrets as you can. Try to focus on one lane. They're attacking both.
Honestly, to me, that was some hot stuff. Really, Takashi is changing up his gameplay. He's trying to break out of that structure, and he's keeping Fireflux Esports on their toes because they don't know when he's going to go in, right? And they have to make sure that they don't accidentally hit the eye for an eye if he is trying to dash into them, because that's going to cause a lot more problems. And now we look at the gold earned. Sagan, Takashi, Gusta Lagusta taking the top 3 spots.
Yeah, as I told you, Gusta Lagusta is moving freely all around the map. In the top lane, he already got a turret. In the bot lane, he did the same, and his damage so far, he haven't, if we went for the damage dealt, he will not be even dealing damage to any member of Team Fireflux so far, because there wasn't a team fight where he existed. He was focusing on farming and also on getting some turrets, which is something I would have expected from a Bruno, but not from a carry. Anyways, this is the RRQ Akira that we have seen up against Team Blacklist International at the second game. Coming back once again, this is what we are used to from the Brazilian Giants.
It looks like the pressure has gotten to them, and in a good way. They're adapting very well so far, but the question is whether Fireflux Esports has something to say about it.
TNZ keeps getting found out by RRQ Akira. I'm saying, man, TNZ now is not having a good game. 1, 2, and 1.
I'm actually liking this, right? Because RRQ Akira, the last time it was TNZ who was kind of the spearhead for the team, giving the information and also initiating these fights. Now on the opposite end, RRQ Akira has smothered him out. And now, without that added level of information, Fireflux are hesitant on some of these decisions.
Yeah, as I said earlier on in the draft phase, Fireflux cannot go through the backlines. They cannot reach the backlines until they take a layer by layer from Team RRQ Akira. So Team RRQ Akira now are risking so much, but they are also gaining so much, which is equivalent to what they are putting on the table.
RRQ Akira are going for the Lord. Apex 47 as well as TNZ and Rosa trying to find ways to go in. Luis pulls it back, but TNZ got there on time. Apex 47 goes down, and Rosa, that was a bad mistake coming in. He has to use the flicker to get away. It looks like he's able to. TNZ is still there, still alive. Luis actually caught him and still got the Lord?
He pulled him towards the Lord's side, thinking that it's an off angle. There's no way he can close that distance. And then, oh no, it's Fredrin. He has a dash still available. So, honestly, really nicely done. Tanzi reacting just in time. Again, RRQ Akira, they got to start taking these smaller micro mechanics into consideration.
I would say that Apex 47 was the sacrificial lamb in this moment. He did a flicker first kill, having King up in the air, not in the way he wanted to be, and then he left the spot for TNZ to take that retribution battle.
King as well as TNZ, two junglers finding each other. Fireflux Esports, they're basically pushing RRQ Akira back in their own base. Alien, Apex 47 as well as Rosa is trying to find a target here, while Sunshine just getting this mid for free.
Oh, this is such a big mistake because that Lord is now flipped the tables. It's flipped the script. And now Fireflux are going to be taking all the outer turrets. They're going to be able to walk into enemy jungle. And now the lead that RRQ Akira has developed is now falling into the hands of Fireflux. 300 gold lead so far. And if you check the in-game equipment, yeah, you can see that it's starting to even up on all fronts.
I would have actually said that Brody right now will hurt so bad. We were focusing, or I was focusing on Gusta Lagusta having free farm, but having those, I would say, that just one team fight. It's not. There's no kills even for Sunshine. There is nothing that Sunshine did so special that I would say, yeah, this is the time that Sunshine actually got the gold. It was one team fight, and that's all what it takes. And the MVP of this team fight was Apex 47 doing that flicker first kill. But leave all that aside, one Lord in and 5 turrets out. So Team Fireflux are using the Lord to its maximum potential. Not just the Lord itself, the minion waves, they are using it. And they managed to get a lot of turrets, rather also to control the map.
Yeah, I mean, it emphasizes your point. Sunshine, minimal damage in the bottom 3 in terms of damage dealt. He's going to be more relevant as the game goes by, but it just shows you how important this Lord actually is to both of these teams.
TNZ wired that alone. Luis flickers for it. He wants TNZ, and TNZ goes down. He was at a very rough position.
Yeah, that was a bad position. And also, oh, he's going to come back at the Lord time, but until that, Team Fireflux need to regroup.
Hold on.
What are they doing?
Conceal here. They find
Okay.
Saigon. Is that a target that they want? It looks like Alien says yes. The rest are like unsure.
Ouch.
Rosa trying to back him up. Alien has to use the flicker to run away, but Saigon still secures the kill. Hesitation coming in from Fireflux.
It's not looking good. It's really not looking good here. Rosa, again, Apex is there to kind of supplement everything that happens, but it doesn't mean that he can necessarily create space, right? The two big people that we're looking for is both Alien as well as TNZ. They just need the damage dealer to work together with these two members, and they might be able to find something. The next Lord falls into the hand of RRQ Akira pretty freely. As we look at the items again, we are starting to devolve in towards that late game, which is going to be a big problem because all these tanks are going to melt underneath Gusta Lagusta.
RRQ Akira, I would say that they are playing with time because they used the time until Tennessee reached there to melt that Lord down. Having that true damage right now will have a lot to say into the equation for Fireflux. Esports have to go back, have to regroup, have to have this solid defense because just one mistake right now will cost them the game, will cost them to go for game number 3.
Luis has the Divine Judgment. Doesn't look like he's going to really go for it just yet. But this is a good opportunity for RRQ Akira just to secure the turrets. Right now, they do have the gold lead. All that Luis is waiting for is for that flicker. And at that point, having this carry on your side, you could potentially burst down anyone.
Yep, but the thing is, they didn't see that Alien actually used his final slash earlier on the wave, so that's why Luis was like hesitant, right? He doesn't know whether he was going to get pulled back. So that's the big condition. They have to be extremely aware of what abilities are up and at what times.
Who does Luis wants? That's the question right now. Okay, they are furiously defending that mid lane inhibitor turret, but again, the question here, who does Luis have to take out so that Team Fireflux fully goes down? Is it the Edith for the start? Is it the Alien with his Arlut just to take that final slash away from the team fight? I don't know. For you guys, who do you think should go out for Team RRQ to go in?
I think anybody except for Apex 47, right? I think
Alright.
that Apex 47, he's great once the Primal Wrath kind of comes out, but everybody has value on the side of Fireflux Esports. I think that the most ideal target in some of these situations is either TNZ or Alien, because Rosa's a little hard to catch. His positioning has been quite sharp, right? He's working very closely with Alien, who are looking to counter-engage as soon as RRQ try to pull the trigger.
Yeah, again, the Valentina with the Necklace of Durance once again at the early stages. And look at the other side. Look at the Lilia. She has a lot of slowdown effect with this Ice Queen wand. Also some, Divine Glaive and Ventilation.
Yep. Sunshine having to use the flicker very early on, and TNZ half HP. Fireflux, good movement, but Rosa is caught in between. There's nowhere for Rosa to go.
What? That's the sharp position we're talking about?
Dude, you cursed it.
I cursed it.
Why did you have to say that?
Look, Fireflux were trying to look for a play here, and RRQ Akira were at the right place at the right time and called for it. I think that, at the end of the day, RRQ Akira are not thinking too hard about this, and it feels like Fireflux are kind of getting in their own heads about how complicated this play needs to be.
At some point, I think that RRQ Akira just found Rosa by chance, because he wasn't on map, he wasn't no one had vision upon him, and just appearing like that in your backline, it was a gift. It was a gift given by Rosa that Team Fireflux cannot actually afford.
Yeah, that was a mistake, definitely, at this point. Fireflux, I don't know, 6.7k behind, 6.8 right now. And again, this is the win condition we were talking about. At one point, even if somehow, some way, RRQ Akira does not win the team fight, they can go for that split push. Having the Kaja carry combo is very deadly.
Yeah, that is very deadly, but as of yet, we're hoping to see something happen here, right? We're hoping to see that big fight, but with a 7k gold lead, eventually it's not going to matter in just a little bit. Fireflux, I think they're going to wait out their time, right? Sacrifice what needs to be sacrificed. If it comes down to an inhibitor, then so be it.
An Enhanced Lord can be the answer for Team RRQ, can be the solution. Team RRQ right now, they have all the ultimates, all the spells, all what it takes is focus that crystal.
Luis right now having the flicker, looks like,
conceal
use. He finds Sunshine! Sunshine goes down! And now, Fireflux Esports, they don't have a lot of damage. RQ Akira, they can force this out. They get mid-inhibitor. Even Rosa has to be very careful. The minions are going in, and looks like Alien wants something to do with it. Luis goes down, but Takashi with an amazing stun. They're able to get him all. Alien finds Saiga, but Alien gets taken down by King. Apex 47 and TNZ are trying their best to protect their base. King just walks in. Apex 47 is going to get taken down. TNZ, there's not much that you can do. This is game over. RRQ Akira pushes us to game number 3.
Woo! From what used to be match point for Fireflux Esports, now it's 1-1. Who's going to be able to take this way as we move on into game number 3? Nicely done by RRQ Akira as they recover from game number 1.
RRQ Akira, they wanted to clean things out just to take that base. They didn't want to just take the base alone. They want to send a message, and that message is that they are able to come back stronger, wiped out at the finish, 1-1, and now going to match point.
Great draft, but even better execution. Definitely much better than what we saw in the previous game, where this time they're being proactive. They're trying to find those trades. They're trying to find those kills, and it looks like Fireflux Esports as well. They gotta change things up because quite a few mistakes that they did in that game.
I don't know. Yeah, I would agree with you. It did get a little sloppy there towards the later half of that game, but whew. I think at the very least, finding that stride again for the side of RRQ Akira brings a lot of hope for everybody else in that group, and they don't want to get eliminated just yet.
We have spoken a little bit about how important this match for both of the teams. So having a 1-1 makes you have this perspective, okay, both of them are on the same level.
Yes.
Both of them are like battling in an epic battle. So the match point actually is also might be the group decider, yeah.
Let's look at our MVP, brought to you by the Republic of Gamers. Give it up to Louise, our MVP of the game, coming up big time, finding the right divine judgment at the very end of the game onto Sunshine, while Alien wasn't able to get in close enough to respond.
Again, this Kaja can be very deadly when your team is decisive. Like, whenever you have a Kaja and you're like, okay, I'm going to use my Divine Judgment. I don't care what you guys want to do. Just make sure you guys follow up and kill that person. We're going to look at the highlights here where this time, RQ Akira, they go for what they want. They don't hesitate. They don't slow down.
Yeah, actually, Louise also had this cooldown, let's say a little cooldown in the emblem. Also having the fleeting time actually helped him so much, finding every target possible, and at every given moment he was able to either secure a turtle or to get an important troop, let's say, from the side of Team Fireflux. Look here at Takashi, which I would take back my words. His Benedetta was really good, was on point, and at some times the Petrify on the ultimate was precise, but Apex 47 at a certain point was able to flip everything around, make Fireflux back on top, back in the driver's seat, take everything in the map, 5 turrets in without any, not a big fight, just one lured in, and Team Fireflux was already giving us the vibes that they can finish the game. Here with the flicker ult from Louise, that's when you knew that everything went down, and here, at this particular moment, Team RRQ Akira were out for blood and not just to finish the base.
Yeah, I think that from the draft itself, maybe there was an opportunity to start banning out this Kaja. I'm surprised that they let it through in the first place, because at least even if you're looking for suppression for the side of RRQ Akira and they ended up with Franco, there's a lot more ways to actually play around it to cancel out the Bloody Hunt in comparison to a Divine Judgment, which is very much positional based.
I would say in this game, we have to talk about what Fireflux did wrong as well, because there were quite a few times where Rosa, Alien, as well as Apex 47, they're moving forward. And even though the setup was there, it looks like they didn't make a decision. It's like, do we want to go first? Do we want to disengage? Because Alien went in when everyone else was backing off. Yeah. Even during the fights around the Turtle and the Lord, it looks like there was a breakdown in communication here.
Yeah, I would definitely say that there was miscommunication from the side of Team Fireflux, especially Rosa actually having the Divine Judgment and having all these really good ultimates from the side of Team RRQ. We haven't saw him steal the Kaja ult or even use it for the favor of his team. So letting that aside, let's have a really quick look here at the items. Sunshine and also Gusta Lagosta, all of them. I think we already we are already in the late game. So basically most of the players will have their full set. But again, the Necklace of Durance coming from Rosa and fully tanky build on Alien. He didn't even want to deal damage. At some point, he was just relying on that crowd control that he can do, the final slashes with the flicker that at some points were game changers.
Yep. With Rich Guy Gusta walking away with 746 gold per minute. The carry actually falling into the hands of Sagan with 70.1k in terms of damage dealt. Sandbag going over the 10Z and Forgotten One also back to Sagan. But now we need to start talking about adaptations, right?
All right.
For the side of Fireflux Esports, I feel like in terms of the draft, they had some solid conceptual ideas, but the execution wasn't exactly as clean as it needed to be if they wanted to edge out RRQ Akira.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only thing, because I feel like that draft is definitely usable. Definitely usable, and we saw quite a few times that they can contest for Lords and stuff, but it does become a situation when you basically have two different brains in one team, and it doesn't work out together because the brain has to, the body has to follow the brain. So whatever they're gonna do for game number 3, if RRQ Akira gets away with a draft like this, that's very proactive. You can lock someone down and you can burst them down, and then no one can really stop Takashi as well when he's dashing all over the place. You need to make sure that you're very concise. If you want to go for gold lane, you can send 4 people. It doesn't matter as long as you accomplish what you're aimed to do.
Yeah, a ship with 2 captains always sinks, and that what happened here. RRQ Akira right now, look, the team fight participation, as I said, it's gonna be so hard to deal against that Lilia, especially because you don't have a lot of mobility when it comes to team fight. Yes, you do have the Arlet, but what else do you have? Nothing. So RRQ Akira have used their draft in a really good way. Every time they went in for the neutral objectives, they found the target they needed, whether it was Tennessee or even taking Rosa out or zoning, at least I would say Sunshine, because Sunshine in this match haven't dealt that much damage. 16.9k, that's almost lower than some of the tanks, if I'm not mistaken. Also, he haven't took a lot of damage. Look at him. Look at Sunshine. Sunshine this game, I would say he was absent in a way, because at the late game, having all that time, having all the items, and not dealing damage with the Brody, that's questionable. He needs to work on